Hi everyone and welcome to today's Drama Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. If you didn't see already, I uploaded the October month in review yesterday. So if you're new or you didn't get a chance to watch all of October's videos or episodes, I definitely recommend checking it out. I broke it down episode by episode, and I'm looking for feedback too, whether you want more detail, less detail, kind of, whatever your suggestions. But let's get right to today's recap. So at the PCPD, Jordan and Curtis are locked in an angry gaze when Andre walks in, and Jordan says Curtis was interfering with an investigation. Misha's gonna knock over the tripod, and there's a lot of history there and words were said, and he finds Curtis irritating as well, and he's decided to also go to Morgan's funeral, and she's going to go too, both to search for leads and answers and to give condolences to the family. It's a thing they do, like to go to the victims' funerals, and he's trying to be nice and says, it must be hard, she must feel like a hypocrite, but Curtis had just called her a hypocrite and not like in a playful or nice way, so she kind of gets really like, don't call me a hypocrite, like, just not like angry, but like not okay. So he says, offended. I don't know, offended, these days offended just has a different meaning, so I don't even like to use that term either. So he says he was joking. Of course, she's not a hypocrite. She's like, no, I did overreact. And he thinks he was making a lame joke. And she's like, no, Curtis got to me. And he's like, I don't like how Curtis makes you feel. And she's like, well, aren't you supposed to be like, you're a psychologist? Aren't you supposed to be like, only you can decide how you feel? And he's like, but I'm not your doctor. I'm your man. And I was like, oh, Andre. Oh, Misha's standing. Oh, she's trying to catch something in the air. What's going on? The J-Sam, I guess it's a parking garage they're at, and Sam is nowhere to be seen, so it's just really Jason. So Jason questions Pete, but Pete is shot before he could say anything, and Jason immediately calls 911, and also goes through his stuff on his body and gets his cell phone. Curtis then comes over and sees him searching this dead guy's body, and they talk about Pete, and he wants to talk to Pete too, and he's suspicious of Jason. Why wouldn't he be? So the police and the paramedics come. Jason says that he was there when Pete was shot and gives a short version of his story, but they're going to get his story later. Now Curtis wants information in exchange for not telling the police that, Jason was searching the body, and Jason's like, well, that'll give me enough time to stash the phone, and then, like, they won't have anything. And Curtis is like, that's just a waste of time. Can I at least just see what's on it? So Jason's like, fine, whatever. So they look through it. I used the wrong form of through. Oh my goodness. I'm embarrassed for myself. There's lots of numbers. He gives the phone back to Jason, and Jason goes to get his statement taken. Back at the PCPD, Andre wants to take Jordan out to dinner at this new Thai place, and while she's getting her stuff, he sees Curtis is calling. Ava and Lucy are in this alleyway, and Lucy sneaks up on Ava. She's the one who texted her. She knows what she did to Morgan. And I was like, oh, Lucy, please don't let us down. So basically, Lucy saw her in the alley, saw her throw something away. And as she's telling this, I'm looking at her hands, and she's wearing the gloves. And she found Morgan's medicine. So Ava tries to deny it, and Lucy says maybe she's the reason Morgan was in that car, and she was throwing away evidence. And she thinks that Ava and Morgan got back together again, and Lucy's going to tell Sonny and Carly. And I was like, oh, Lucy, you were so close. Why? So Ava uses their grief, Kiki's grief, like, oh, do you really want to tarnish their memory of Morgan? And then she brings up Lucy's daughter. At Casa Corinthos, Carly found something important and wants to show Sonny. It's the journal. She points out the check marks. He was taking his medication. He sees what she said about the handwriting. They're working together. Oh my god, I used the wrong form of there. What's wrong with me? And I don't know, they're like, what has happened? I'm turning into a different person. And I don't know, it felt they felt okay. You know, they weren't fighting. They were working together, and there was something wrong with his medication, and they really dissect it, and then Sonny says his medicine was working, he just stopped taking them, and I'm like, no, come on, no, don't do this. So he thinks that Morgan was just trying to cover by doing the check marks, and Carly's like, no, he didn't show anyone this journal, it was just for him, why would he lie to himself? So Sonny goes to check the medication, and Carly sees the note that Sonny was going to leave for her. And Sonny brings a bottle of medicine down the stairs. So there was only one bottle, and one's missing, the most important one. And we have a little theory. So the lithium is the one missing. So when Ava put the pills back, she would have had, like, that's the one she took out of, she took the lithium out and replaced that because that was the most important one. So we can, like, kind of infer that would, if you messed with that one, that's what would make him spiral. So when she put the pills back, she would have put the lithium in the wrong bottle, just, you know, because she was working fast and she didn't want to get caught and all that. So if they had the medicine in this bottle tested, it would be positive for lithium and not what it's supposed to be, whatever was in there. So she had no way of knowing that he threw that bottle away at the bar. So we're just trying to kind of piece this whole together, how it could unravel. So Sonny thinks that he was spiraling and threw them away, but then why not throw away the other? Like, why just throw away that one? At Elizabeth's place, Elizabeth and Franco have the place to themselves. He inspired her on their first date, and she's been taking an art class. She has a little portfolio. He says they're really good, and she says she fell behind because of recovery, and she wants to make sure she's on pace with the class, and she wants him to pose for her. So Franco's reluctant. He sees himself as controversial, and her classmates would know they're in a relationship, and that's okay with her. Like, it's more than okay with her. So she takes her portraiture very seriously. She starts drawing him. He wants to see. He sees she has vision and intent, and she's very bold. At Lante's place, their house is gorgeous, by the way. Like, oh my goodness. No wonder, like, they were so upset when they weren't going to get it. Lulu's kind of upset that Rocco got chocolate on her new designer shirt that she had to have maxi pull strings for, but, like, they were two perfect handprints, so, like, that was just kind of funny in this household, wasn't it?
I thought so.
So Dante makes a kind of an offhand comment about not, like, you know, imagine having 2 kids, like, I'm glad we don't have 2 kids, but I don't think he meant it like that. And he didn't. So when Lulu comes back from changing, Dante says he's sorry about what he said, but she's over it, and they have to focus on what they have. And I'm like, can we continue that and not make Charlotte her daughter? Because I would really not like that. So Dante gives Lulu a candy to open, and she's not going to because it's Rocco's favorite, but he's like, no, you have to. So she does, and she's like, this doesn't even feel like candy. And because it's not candy, it's her engagement ring wrapped up, and Dante proposes, and I love them. If you know, like, they're my favorite. So she never stopped loving him, and she says yes after, you know, kind of making him wait, like, for 2 seconds longer than he'd like to. At the Metro Court, Valentine tells Griffin Charlotte's his daughter, and Anna opens the envelope. So Griffin comes back and looks at the DNA test. He doesn't seem too pleased with it. He sees that he's not Charlotte's father. Surprise, surprise! So Anna says she's just trying to protect, Claudette's just trying to protect Charlotte from Valentine, which is why she did this to you, apparently. And Valentine comes right over, and Charlotte recognized him and is happy to see him. So she's not afraid of him or anything. So, and she recognizes him, meaning she's seen him fairly recently, so I don't know what to infer from that, to be quite honest with you. So Anna gets Charlotte to go back to painting her, or drawing her picture, so they can talk with Valentine. He has an official copy of Charlotte's birth certificate that he just happens to carry around with him. And her name is Charlotte Cassadine, which just seems a little too convenient. He insisted that she have his last name, even though he and Claudette weren't married, and even so. And I was like, oh, Valentine, you're just a step a little lower on my little liking you poll. It is still pretty high, so you know it's not that much. So Anna thinks that it's forged, and he cuts himself right on a napkin for her to test. And I was like, that's a pretty boss move, I'm not gonna lie. Seems like something they do in Supernatural. And he will leave Charlotte. They cut themselves all the time on that show. So he will leave Charlotte with Anna and Griffin because, you know, they seem good with her. And Valentine says Griffin and Charlotte were both caused unnecessary pain. And he says he's not going anywhere and he's going to have them, you know, kept an eye on. And now end scene. So Anna has a plan and it's based around protecting Charlotte. Lulu wants to get married sooner than later. Liz and Franco kiss, and now that it's becoming realer, I don't think I'm okay with it as I thought I was. So some of y'all are winning out on that one because now I'm like, maybe not. It's not I don't know, not feeling like the way I thought it would feel. So Andre answers the phone and tells Curtis to leave Jordan alone, and then an officer is telling Jason that, you know, it doesn't seem to be a robbery because he had his wallet on him, but they didn't find his phone. And Jason's like, well, I'm sure if he had one, it'll turn up. And I'm like, Jason, I love you. Lucy won't tell Sunny and Carly she saw Ava tossing the medication. I don't know why, or at least she tells Ava she won't. I hope she does. But she will hold on to them for safekeeping. Like, what? So this woman has a history of murdering people for less than solid reasons. Like, are you really, Lucy? Really? Ugh. So Carly feels something's still off, and Sonny thinks she's just looking for a reason, and he's resigned himself to the fact that Morgan didn't die because of the medication. He died because of him. And he tells her that she can take the journal, and she's like, he loved us, and they should have done better, and he tells her she's a great mom, but she feels she failed him, and they both failed him, and oh, if Lucy doesn't, like, oh, Lucy, right, Star? Come here, Star, say hi. Say hi, Star. Hi, Star. Hi. Star, you look angrier than you are, because you're not angry at all. She just has an angry face. She got it from her father, right? Mwah. Alright, so that is it for today's Drama Hospital. I will see you tomorrow for more Drama Hospital, and I hope you have a great night. Bye. Say bye, Star. Bye, Star. Bye, Star.